Right, are we live? I really hope so. There's no one to tell me if it's... Settings. Right, I really hope you guys can hear me because I'm outside and I'm cold. Right, can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Alright guys, it's another Ox Tea session. So I had this whole plan in my head, but it's much colder than I thought it was going to be. Well, I was outside before. I think as the day goes on, it gets colder. And the sun keeps going behind the clouds, so you know. Hi guys! Welcome to another Ask Tea session. Please, can someone let me know if you can hear me? That is the main thing right now. Even if you're going to go, just let me know you can hear me and then drop out so I can know. Thank you. I don't want to do a whole video and you can't hear me. Can you hear me? Yes or no? The sun is setting actually, it's so pretty. But if I do it that way, you won't be able to see and I won't be able to see. Okay guys, so I wanted to wear my yellow top, but you know, it's freezing cold, so I have to wear my coat. So I'm going to do a quick Q&A guys. If you have any questions while I'm on the live, then feel free to drop them in the chat and I'll ask them. They can be sprinting related, gym related, life related, whatever you want. But obviously this is a sprinting based channel. So if you would like to ask a sprinting question, now is your chance. So I'm going to get onto the questions that people did ask because like I said, it's really cold and I don't want to be out here for such a long time. So the first question is, how do I climb over a fence to do a track workout and not get yelled at by the maintenance person? Perry Scanlon, hope I said your name right. I can't see, you know, because the sun is kind of blinded me a little bit. I'm just going to move it like a little bit so that I can see again. It's because the sun keeps changing, so I can't see. Right, how do you climb over the fence? Now, I'm going to assume there's a reason why you can't pay to get onto the track, right? So either you don't have the finances right now, either the track is permanently shut, which sometimes they do stuff like that. I don't know why, but if that's the case, I would say number one, ask if you can use the track. That might sound like, why'd I do that? But if you don't ask, you don't receive. And this actually applies in life in general. If you don't ask, you don't receive. So the worst thing they can say is no. But if you can ask, if you have a reason why you cannot pay, then just ask them. Let them know what you're trying to do, the reason why you can't pay at the moment. They may, you never know, they may give you favour and they might actually allow you onto the track. Second thing is, you could try and make friends with the maintenance person, because a lot of times people come with an attitude. You do something, you're doing something wrong and they come with an attitude. So like I said, ask. If you ask, you never know what they'll say. They may say yes, you may get favour. They understand what you're trying to do. You're not trying to do something bad, you're trying to train, and what you're trying to train for, give them a bit of background, they might say yes to you, right? But make friends with the people, with the staff, with the maintenance person or whatever. Just try to get on their good side as opposed to come with an attitude. And then I guess lastly, not second of all, but thirdly, whatever number I'm on, you could actually just, I don't know how much it costs for you to get onto the track, but if it's a financial thing, then maybe you can ask friends or family or the people that you know. You might be able to actually raise the funds for like a period of time, so 3 months, a year, or whatever, and people might be willing to support you. You never know unless you ask. So if you don't ask, you don't receive. That's the truth, and it's worked in life. That's the truth. Okay, I'm returning from hip replacement surgery last November. I feel this is a clean slate from which I should learn good habits and drop the bad ones. I began strength training, and just this morning I ran a couple of low speed intervals on the treadmill. What does my new schedule look like? My race, 200 meters, is in early September. That's from Michael B. So first of all, congratulations on successful hip replacement surgery. I'm glad that went well, and I'm glad that you're back at it, back at training. That must feel great. That must feel good to be back. So what are we in? We're in February, say March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So you said early September. So let's say 6.5 months, say, before your race. I mean, is that your first race, or that's the main race that you're trying to aim for? I think can't give you like a full schedule. You never can give someone unless you know them personally and you know their history. But based on what you said you want to get things right. So one of my clients always says this thing where she says, get good, then get quick, right? She talks about that. She's a seamstress. She talks about that in her field, but it applies in life and in most things. Same thing. If you want to, like you said, build good habits. So start with technical, trying to build your technique, right? So that could be a lot of walking drills to begin with. That could be a lot of drills to begin with. So starting at a lower intensity, which is what you've done already, lower intensity to higher intensity. And also, I personally prefer short to long. So I think that's a good way to allow your body to see how it deals with distances, how it deals with intensities gradually, slowly but surely, right? So go in, really taking the time to focus on your technique. Obviously, get strong. Again, even in the gym, focus on technique before you go super heavy. And again, seeing how your body responds to everything. But I think movements, whether you're in the gym or on the track, movements that are going to help you refine your technique on the track, right? So anything that's going to work on like your hip flexors, your glutes, your hamstrings, on the track, working on that knee lift, working on the rotation of your leg. So lots of drills. You can include hurdle drills as well. That's going to be very helpful. So like I said, I think going for the approach where you go from short to long and also gradually increase your intensity as those months go on. So I personally like to work in like monthly blocks. So you could kind of do that. You could kind of create yourself like a little plan where you have like a monthly block where you focus on different things. Of course, I've got loads of videos on my channel, so it's really hard to like try and do it in a very short, condensed way. But if you think about the 200 meters, you need to obviously gonna have to build your fitness. So you're gonna have to do speed endurance work, but that might begin with just tempo runs. Like I said, not going for the longer ones first of all, might start off shorter tempo and gradually increasing the distance of those. You're also going to need to work on your start. So you're going to have to do bend running. You're going to have to do some plyometrics at some point. Again, with your plyometric, I would encourage you to go from low intensity plyometric and gradually increase the intensity of them, increase the distance of them. If they're starting off with just like stationary ones or like things that you do on a spot, gradually increasing to where you're moving over distances, right? So creating a plan, you could carve out like 6 months and try and touch on those different things that you need each month. But again, the intensity gradually increases and you can have the distances gradually increasing as well, becoming more intense. And also that would mean that your recovery times kind of get longer. The faster you're going, the longer and faster and more intense the session is, the more recovery you need to be able to execute at that high intensity. So hopefully that's helpful. If you really, 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 really want real specific and you really want me to help you like specifically, I do have an online sprint squad, guys. So you can check out tarimathompson.uk/squad, and you can check out my Pure Track Academy, which is on my online sprint squad, where I can actually create you a specific program and actually like schedule. You can get feedback and all that good stuff, right? Okay, so next question, we're gonna say. It says, thanks sis, I have to stop running for 2 months. What is the best exercise without equipment that I can do at home during this time, just so I don't lose it all at once? Do you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say high knees. High knees is basically running on the spot. Running on the spot. Like if you've got no equipment and you can't run at all, obviously there's loads of other things you can do, like conditioning, keep your conditioning up. So all your body weight conditioning, you can do circuits, all that kind of stuff. But I think high knees in terms of, it's a drill, in terms of running action and in terms of intensity, it's one of the things that you can incorporate. So you can do that for like timed, you can still do it in like quote unquote intervals, but you can do it like 1 minute high knees with however many seconds or however many minutes break. But in terms of, if you're asking me for one exercise, in terms of running alternative, I'm going to say high knees. Because unless you have a bike or a treadmill at home, then hiking is going to be great. But if you do have stairs at home, you can also really make use of stairs. So that's another option. So hopefully that helps. And the last question is, that question was from Mohit, by the way, the last question. But the last question I'm going to say, well, the previous question, not the last question, the previous question was from Mohit. So I'm looking over there because I'm on the track and there's actually people training and it's like really distracting. Why are children faster when they're younger? That is from Mohammed. Why are children faster when they're younger? I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say children are faster when they're younger, but I think what you find is if you don't continue an active lifestyle, you naturally, kids are very active, they'll just run, like they'll just go and run a 400 meters on the track and they won't feel it. You get older, your fitness goes down, you know, you stop being as active unless you intentionally choose to train, unless you intentionally take up a sport or something like that and you make it as part of your lifestyle. Then I don't think that you necessarily are quicker when you're younger. I think you're more active, and kids are not afraid to move their body in an explosive way, whereas as people get older they start to move slower, they move less. So I think as a teenager, as people get into their teens, I think the habits you build as a teenager, even pre-teens now, a lot of kids are inactive, right? So it's getting kids active, but I don't think you're necessarily quicker when you're younger. I think when you're younger, you're more active, you have a bit more energy unless you continuously, intentionally train, like I said, and you're not afraid to move your body explosively. Sprinting is explosive, so you're not afraid to move your body explosively. I guess if he's asking me comparing it to someone who doesn't continue to train. If you continue to train, there's no way that as a kid you was faster. But if you don't train, your body, you might lose muscle. Like you're not going to be as explosive. You're not going to be as active. If you stop using it, you lose it. So basically you need to keep using it, and I think that's basically the answer. And you can get faster no matter what age you are, so that's a positive. So it's not necessarily just because you're getting older. And this person is asking me as a teenager, like they're young. They're very young. It's not that it's because you're the kid, you're younger. But I think if you don't train your body and you start getting into a lazy lifestyle, you're not eating healthily, you're not active anymore, then of course you're not going to be able to move as quickly as you did when you're younger, when you're more just as a kid. You have that youthful energy, you're not afraid to move quickly. But as you get older, you put in a little bit of weight and you don't use your muscles, you're not training yourself to be more explosive, then you're not going to get faster. So it's possible. You should be faster as a teenager than you was as a kid if you're active and if you train. And it's possible to train, and I've got loads of videos on my channel about how to get faster, so check those out if you haven't checked them out already. So guys, I actually hope you could hear me, because imagine I just did this whole video and you couldn't hear anything that I was saying. That would be terrible. But if you have any more questions, leave them in the comment section below, and I can either make a whole video. If it's like a question that's worth a whole video, then I can make a video about it. If you are interested in some coaching, then check out my website, trimathompson.uk/coaching, and all the options are there. But yeah, other than that, have a great Thursday or whatever day it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you guys in another video. Hopefully, I'm not going to promise this, but hopefully I can try and do a live maybe like once a month. So if you have questions, you can ask them at any time, and when I have a chance to make a live, I will make a live and I can answer the questions, or I can make a whole video if I get that time, because I just haven't got the time to make a sit down video at the moment. But I'm trying. Anyway guys, stay blessed, happy sprinting.